Hello, what is up guys? Shadow Pickle here. So I just wanted to make this video on a game that I love dearly. It's called Persona 5. I played Persona 5, I've played Persona 5 Royal. So a little bit of a funny story. My background on this game was I played the original Persona 5 when it came out and I thoroughly loved it. And then I played Persona 5 Royal sometime again later. And I did not get the third semester because I didn't realize you needed to do special things to unlock the third semester. But I had one save slot, and I just saved in that same slot over and over. So when I beat the game, I was like, where's the third semester? And I realized then that I wasn't gonna get it, and there was no way for me to easily get the third semester without just starting a new playthrough. So I went like 8 or 9 months just not playing, and then eventually I came back to it and I got the third semester and I loved it. I love the third semester. I found it very thought-provoking, and so this video, well, I enjoyed it so much that I actually have it on my Steam Deck. I decided I would just keep it downloaded on here so I could play it whenever, because this game's like my single-player home. Oh shit. This game's like my single-player home. And anyways, this video will contain spoilers, and I try to have like my own thoughts and opinions on the game. And let's get into it. Okay, so now we're gonna get into combat, and the game has classic turn-based combat, but it's super fluid and very stylized and has flashy visuals to go along with it. The graphics and visuals in combat and just the whole game in general is super standout. When I first saw vanilla Persona 5, the graphics really drew me in. Anyways, each encounter has bullets that recharge in between each battle. I believe this was an addition that they added in Royal. This makes grinding and early level areas easier to get through by allowing you to save your MP for battles when you will actually need it. Some of my favorite things about the combat system comes down to two things: baton passes and show times. Hitting an enemy's weakness, then baton passing to your teammate, and just letting the combat flow is very satisfying. Additionally, Akechi's showtime in the third semester got a good laugh out of me because of how extremely aggressive he is. In terms of fusioning personas to create stronger personas, I feel that this was well designed. One thing that has changed in Royal is the alarm fusion. I won't claim to know everything about the fusion system. However, the alarm fusion adds a fun aspect to fusioning. I think for hardcore players, the combat system probably has a lot of depth to it. Mementos in the original game was AI-generated dungeons that were very grindy and had no good way of getting through it. In Royal, they streamlined Mementos with a bunch of features, such as being able to instantly kill opponents that are much lower level than you, while still rewarding money and experience. And with the addition of Josei and stamps, Mementos becomes much more of a place to easily grind, do side quests, and sometimes progress the story. It basically went from being a drag in vanilla Persona to being not bad. The story takes front and center cake of this game. It is a long, well fleshed out story about young kids that had injustices done to them and just generally felt like they didn't belong anywhere. They come across a power that lets them change people's hearts, and they use this power to change corrupt people's perceptions. Everything in the plot ends up being connected to the upcoming Prime Minister of Japan, which after beating Shido, you end up fighting a god. This was a nice grand finale in vanilla Persona. However, I think this was one of the weaker points of the story for me personally. I'm not sure why you have to end the game fighting a god. However, with the addition of the third semester, fighting a god makes more sense, as it flows straight into Dr. Maruki's palace. And then On top of that, Dr. Maruki's palace was probably the palace that I found the most interesting. I actually disagree with the Phantom Thieves' idea that they want to resist him and fight for their own reality, because to me, the world is a hard place, and if he could make it easier and allow you to achieve your dreams, then I don't see why you would not want that. I do agree with the Phantom Thieves on one point though. By creating a world that is easier, where everyone is happier and can achieve it, or just has their dreams given to them, this implies that Dr. Maruki was hurt himself. He had given up on himself and other people as well. He didn't believe that people could deal with their own hardships, pain, and heartache. The third semester was a ton of fun for me and very thought-provoking, but like I said, I would prefer Dr. Maruki's reality over just, normal reality. So I would say Futaba had one of my more likable palaces in the game. I did like the soundtrack of it, and her story, it resonated with me in ways that I don't want to go into, but just her rough childhood and her inability to leave her room after being hurt too badly from her mom's death is something that resonates with me. The characters in this game is what the game is all about. My favorite characters all have to be the ones added in Royal: Kasumi, Akechi, and Dr. Maruki, although I know Akechi was not technically added in Royal. They all have burdens, ideals, and ambitions of their own. There is Kasumi, who is running from her past and not even wanting to be herself anymore from the burden of feeling like she killed her sister, which is heartbreaking. Then there is Dr. Maruki, who just wanted the power to make everyone happy. He attained this power, and after being defeated by the Phantom Thieves, he realizes that he gave up on believing that people could deal with their own hardships. Then there is Akechi, who is probably my favorite character in Vanilla Persona on my first playthrough. He still follows the tragic fate of being misguided and his actions having consequences. However, in the third semester, instead of him hiding his true intentions to the main character like he does throughout most of the game, he is blatantly aggressive towards everything, always diving headfirst toward what he wants his fate to be. He does this despite knowing that when he goes back to the real world, he'll be met with the fate of being set up by his dad and being killed by his puppet self. He never hesitates to claim his own future. Each character progresses with you slowly. By the end of each of their stories, they have accomplished their various goals, and you feel as if you have really grown closer to a friend. This game just has outstanding characters. The soundtrack in this game is standout. The game, I feel, screams originality, and I believe the genre is called acid jazz. From fan favorite Beneath the Mask on rainy days, to upbeat soundtracks in palaces, then going to somber tracks when the villains' hearts are changed and they are regretting their actions. The soundtrack is great to listen to in many different types of situations in real life. Anyways, thank you for watching the video. Have a good day.